Today we are going to learn how to create and run Spring Boot container. Let's discuss what is Docker container. Docker containers are an abstraction at the app layer that packages code and dependencies together. Each Docker container running as an isolated process in user space. Now let's go and see the details. Summary in simple 4 steps. First you need to go to the Spring Initializer and download sample example. And second step, create a Docker file. Create a Docker file which is used to build the Docker image. And third step, build the Docker build the jar file with simple endpoint. Fourth step, build Docker image and run the container. And now let's see an example. You need to choose Maven project and the latest version is 2.3.4, and you need to provide the project metadata and whatever you want, and then the Java version I am choosing it as a Java 8, and for writing a simple endpoint I am using Spring Web Dependency. Yeah, now the next step is generate the code and open it in your favorite editor. Now I am generating the code and I am opening it in my favorite editor. Let's see. First, first step, you need to write a simple endpoint. To save some time, I just copy pasted the code to write an endpoint. Here I am writing one simple logger inside the logger, and I am printing some loggers to see these loggers in endpoint, and I am returning simple text. If you want to see some simple text in your endpoint, just I am returning that simple text. The next step is you need to write a Docker file. Let's see what is a Docker file is. Docker file is used to define a Docker image and specify all configurations that are required to this particular application to run. Yeah, and we will have a different commands like from command, which is used to pull the different image which is useful to run this container, and arguments, you can pass a number of arguments and to store some variables, and to copy command, which is used to copy your particular target jar file as a app.jar into your image. And entry point, this is a executable command where your container runs as a executable jar. Yeah, with these 4 steps we can with these 4 commands we can build the Docker image, Spring Boot Docker image. And now let's see how we are going to build the Docker image. For building Docker image, we need to run 2 commands. That is for build command, and another one is for to run the container. To simplify this, and just I am just copying this command, and before that we need to build the jar. Okay, I'm choosing Maven project. I am building the project. In the meantime, let's see, it's building. In the meantime, let's go and copy these commands. Docker build -t, and you can give whatever name you want. Demo, I'm giving it as a demo / Spring Boot Docker. That is my project name, and space dot. This dot recognizes your Docker file, Docker text file, and it will execute the commands which you provided, and it will makes the image. Let's see. And before that, actually, let's see what is the Docker version. Docker -v. This is the current version is 19.3.12. And next command, what are the different images available? Now there is no images. There are two images that is used for different, and for this project there is no images. And we can see what are the containers running. Sorry, Docker PS is used to see the containers. Now there is no containers are running. Now let's see, and and we build the we build the Docker Spring Boot image. We build the Docker Spring Boot image. Docker build hyphen t, and you can give the name, any name, demo, and Spring Boot hyphen Docker, and dot. This dot recognizes Docker file, Docker text file, and it will execute the commands and it will build image for you. And now I am making a build. In the meantime, we go and check. Okay, build is successful. Now, now let's see. Okay, this build also successful. Docker build also successful. Now see Docker images. Now it pulled two images. One is OpenJDK, and which is required to run our Spring Boot Docker image. And demo Spring Boot Docker image is the latest version. The tag is latest. You can specify the tag also. And yeah, now we run this demo Spring Boot Docker image as a container. To run this one, we have a simple command. This one, docker run -p. P is nothing but port, and it will run. Okay. Let's see, within a simple, very small time, our Docker container is brought up and running. Let's hit the endpoint and test our API. Localhost colon 8080 hello. Hello is the endpoint. And now, hello, welcome to Docker example. This is the string which we are returning. And let's see the logger. And so let's see the logger. Hello endpoint. This is the logger which we are getting inside the hello Docker endpoint. This is the logger which we are getting. Let's hit one more time and see the same logger is printing. Yes, we can see the same logger is printing again. The next step is how to go and see. Suppose your Docker container is running as in a background mode. How to see the logs? And by using simple command, we can see the logger, and you can log docker log -f, and you can give your container name. Now our container is being brought up and running. Let's see docker ps. It will give the containers which is running. This is the correct at present container. This is the container ID. Now just docker -f and docker log -f log -f, and you can see the container ID. Okay, sorry, docker logs. docker logs, and here this is the container docker image, not docker ps logs-f and docker logs-f, and this is the container ID, and I'm copying just this way we can see the logger. And let's one more time we hit, yeah, we can see the loggers inside this particular docker container, spring boot container.